Hi, it's Alice and welcome to the first Wealth Insights training. Now, the reason why I'm going to do this is simply because in 97 days I'm going to turn 60, and this is basically my way of saying, first of all, thank you for being on my database. Secondly, thank you for listening to me. And thirdly, I want to add so much value to you that it is unreal. Now, the first lesson that we're going to do is actually not a lesson, it's going to be an overview. And my passion is to teach people how to become wealth creators. Now, I want to introduce you to what it means to be a wealth creator and to see if this is something that you can use and if this is not perhaps something that you want to become. Because the moment that you're a wealth creator, your life is going to change forever. Right, now let me introduce you to the basics. First of all, what on earth is a wealth creator? A wealth creator is a person that knows how to create, preserve and enjoy a life of abundance. I believe with everything in me that we were born to have a life of absolute total abundance. We were placed on this earth to thrive, not to suffer, and definitely not to be poor. So this poor and poverty was created by mankind to keep man slaves. That's the outcome of it. And unfortunately, because we do not use the intelligent use of limited resources, in other words, the wealth creator strategy, because we do not think, we let other people think for us. We let the educational system dictate for us. Instead of us thinking the basic gift that we've got, we let that for other people to decide our fate and the outcome of our lives. And then we believe them because we do not want to think. So a wealth creator uses the limited resources that he's got to move from where he or she is to where he or she wants to be. That is what they do. And the moment that you do that, you start taking control of your life. So a wealth creator is a person that knows how to create and preserve, because it's very easy to create wealth, but it's very difficult to preserve that wealth and to keep that wealth as a legacy and for generations to come. And in order so that they can have a life of abundance. That is, in short, the definition of a wealth creator. Wealth in itself, if we look at the root word for the word wealth, we're going to find it means well-being. And this is exactly what we want to be. We want to be in a state of well-beingness. And if we can be in that state, then it's great. For that reason, what we are striving towards is what we call freedom. And freedom has got a total different meaning to what most people think freedom is. If we look at freedom, freedom is a level 7 activity that you can engage in terms of your business, in terms of your life, in terms of your investments. But a level 7 freedom is actually what we call compounded freedom. What do I mean with that? It simply means that, first of all, the first step in this process is to become financially free. That by far is the easiest way to experience freedom. That is financial freedom. And it's the easiest to achieve that with very little risk attached to it, on condition that you're going to do what I'm going to teach you over the next month or 3 even. Right. The second portion, once we've got that freedom, that is not really making you free, because you can have a lot of money and still not be free. And I see most business people are in that situation. Right. So the second thing that you want, that to compound this, is to have time freedom, to be able to do the things that you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, with whom you want to do it, without worrying about money. So that time freedom is what we are really after. And that is literally a notch above financial freedom, because it's actually the time freedom so that we can do whatever we want, when we want to do it. But then there's a freedom that is one notch above that. And that is what we call the freedom to choose. That ability to decide and to choose our destiny. The ability to choose where we stay. The ability to choose who we are friends with. The ability to choose when to travel and where to travel. That is an incredible freedom to have that ability. But then there's a freedom above that, and I think this is what I'm living for the last 15, well, it's actually 22 years. But for the last 15 years, I'm actively involved in this freedom, and that is the freedom of purpose. This is an incredible freedom to have, is to live your dream, to live your purpose, to live your goal, and to make that part of your life. And this is my wish for you. And this is why for the next 97 days, we're going to engage in this training in order to get you to a point where you say, but Flip, this is what I want to be. I want to have that life of abundance. I want to have that life of freedom. I want to be able to choose. I want to live my dream, and I want to be in a position where I have got all the time to pursue my hobbies and my dreams and the expectations that I've set myself, so that I can become the best person that I possibly can be. Right, so let me give you an overview. There are three major areas that we're going to focus on. And the first area will be the mental side. Now, unless you've got the right attitude and unless you've got the right mindsets, I promise you that you're not going to stick to this program, even if it's for free. Right, so that is really, really important, and I'm going to focus a lot of time on that, maybe to inspire and maybe to motivate and maybe to tell stories and stuff like that. The second portion that we're going to focus on will be the property side. Okay, property is one of the greatest investments, and I believe that most of you do have property, not necessarily investment properties, but at least you've got a roof over your head. And maybe you do not have a property, but at least you're paying rent. So to a certain extent, you're already paying money in terms of property. And that is, how do we optimize that? And then how do we take it to the next level so that we can start our investment career and get the investment so that property can actually make you rich. And you can be financially free by simply using property. You don't need to give up your job. You don't need to take any risk. And this is what we're going to learn. I'm going to introduce you to the 7 laws of a property investor. And once that is done, I'm going to invite you to a mastery level training. Now, the mastery level is not going to be for everyone. It is people that are really serious. So I'm going to send you an invite. And if you accept that invite, that will not be part of what I'm going to offer my database in general. Right, so be on the lookout if you're serious about property, because everyone is not serious about property and everyone does not want to become a master property investor. The third portion that I'm going to focus on will be the business. But by far the minority of people in South Africa has got their own business or even wants to start their business simply because of this fear of risk, because we've been taught that the higher the risk, the higher the growth, and you must take risk in order to succeed. And that is, all of that is a lie. I can show you, and I'm going to demonstrate, and I'm going to give you enough information so that you will know that you can start a business with absolutely no money. What we need is the competency. And once we've got the competency, then it's easy. Right, so I think that is basically what I want to tell you. Now, I'm also going to include the money-making machine. I know it sounds cheesy, you know, the money-making machine. But literally, this machine has made me personally and my students millions and millions and millions of rands, simply because once you get to a level 2, unless you've got a machine that will take you through the automation, the systematic implementation of this so that it can make you free, and it will also help you to set up the structures so that you can move to a level where you become time freedom, that becomes a reality for you. But that's going to be, I hope, later on in this process. The last thing that I want to mention is that last year, about in June, a friend of mine came to me. We were in Shumbas, my game farm, busy doing a game drive, Johan and myself. And he said to me, Hannes, there's this guy from this big wealth management company, and they had this conference, and he was talking about you, and he said that there's this doctor that says that he can take 40 cents and turn it into millions, and the whole audience and everyone laughed. And I said to him, Johan, that guy, how do you know that he was talking about me? And he said, no, he said, it's a doctor, and I said, did you mention me by name? And he said, no, he didn't mention it, but everyone knew that was you. Simply because I took a 79 cents challenge a couple of years ago and turned that into 10 million with financial audited statements and stuff like that. But this crowd seemed to enjoy this joke, and maybe because everyone else was laughing. And I said, no, Johan, it can't be me, because I know I can take 5 cents. I really don't need 40 cents to turn it into $1 million. So I took on a challenge, and most of you will know about that challenge. So let me give you feedback. It is now April, it's the 10th of April. I started the 1st of July with 5 cents. And that was the challenge, and I've got a whole mentoring program around this. The goal for that 5 cents was to turn it into $1 million within the first year. That means it is a growth of 2 billion% within the first year. Last week, a property was registered in our names that we bought for 1.7 million cash. That cash came from that challenge. Right. I set other goals as well. I said, first of all, to get to $1 million, and then to take the $1 million to 4.8 million. That is what I wanted to do. I wanted to increase this business by using this that I'm going to share with you, the basics. I'm not going to go in depth with it, but the basics. And I'm going to turn this into at least 400,000 Rand. And in the process, I want to convert active income into passive income after tax, so that we can get an income for the rest of our lives, indexed with inflation, of at least 30 to 40,000 Rand. Now, at the moment, a couple of months in this challenge, we've already secured approximately 21,000 Rand without costing us a cent. I lie, it cost us 5 cents. And this is what I'm going to share with you, the basic outline of what it is that we're doing in order to be able to do that. Now, it's going to be basic training. It's not going to be advanced training. It's not even going to be intermediate to training. But I can guarantee you this, and that is that what you're going to learn over the next 97 days, you will not find in any handbook, in any curriculum, anywhere in the world. This is real life. This is practical application of universal laws that are applicable when it comes to finances, when it comes to money, when it comes to investment, and when it comes to business. And this is going to be amazing. So this is like an overview of what we're going to do. I'm going to start, as I've said, with the property. We're going to get to the basics of property. There's the 7 laws of a property investor. I would strongly suggest somewhere on my blog, hannesdreyer.com or blog.hannesdreyer.com, you'll find the 7 laws. If you haven't got it, please download it. It's a PDF. Put your name and email address there. We'll send it to you immediately. And I'm going to start and use that as the basis to start off with. And I'm going to include a portion of that, because a portion of that, the mastery training, is going to be based on that. And that is basically the first law, the 0th law, that we're going to talk about. So I really hope that you are going to enjoy this series as much as the joy that I'm going to get by presenting this to you. Please give me feedback. Please spread the word. If you think there's someone else that can benefit from it, please refer them to hannesdreyer.com. And I really hope that I can add so much value to you that when I turn 60, you're going to say to me, Hannes, you gave me the greatest present ever. Right? I'm looking forward to see you in the official first lesson.